All right, welcome back, y'all. I'm Andre Thompson, a privileged bow hunter. I'm going to talk to y'all about, it's going to be kind of two things, right? It's going to be an overview, a more long-range view of the V3X 33, and then I'm going to talk to y'all about why I shoot 80 pounds. I get comments all the time in the comment section. Why do you shoot 80 pounds? Why do you shoot 80 pounds? You can kill an elk with 60 pounds. I saw a woman kill an elk with 40 pounds. All of that's fine, but I got some special circumstances that I try to build my setup to. So I'm gonna take y'all through that right now. Make sure y'all watch to the end. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. As always, we love y'all. Let's go. All right, so I'm gonna take y'all through kind of like my full hunting rig setup, which is also my 3D rig and my target rig, because I just do one bow and then I try to set it up as a middle ground and call it good. So I got the 33. The longer one. I really needed it for the string angle. I had a Halon 7, and that was a 30-inch axle to axle. And for my draw length and just my face geometry, I kind of had to bring my nose to the string, which I shot it well and then became second nature. But just for my body frame, maybe wasn't the most comfortable setup. And then I went to the VXR, which was an inch and a half longer, the 31 and a half. Close, got a little bit better, but the 33, I feel really like I can draw this thing and put my nose to the string. And then I got this thing set up. It's at 81 pounds right now. A little touch, like a hair over 81 pounds. And it's on the 80% let off. So front to back, I got two different arrows that I'm gonna give you. So this one is my fixed blade configuration, and then I'll tell you my mechanical configuration. So on the fixed blade, I got the iron wheel wide, 100 grain. I got a 10 grain impact collar. Some people call them footers. And then I got a 50 grain brass insert in here. This is a Easton Axis match grade. It's a 260 spine. And I got tack vanes. I got, a tack wrap, tack vanes, and I got a Luminoc lighted knock, okay? So total arrow weight, 540 grains. All the weights are the same on this arrow. However, this is a sever, which obviously you can tell has been shot, okay? So I like to keep both mechanicals and fixed blades in my bag, because you never know what scenario you're gonna be in. If I shoot something and it runs off 100 yards and I get a follow-up shot where I'm not gonna try to sling this one out there, I'm gonna actually take my mechanical and put that arrow on that animal. My whole bow is set up to be able to push something big through an animal. So that's why we go back to the bow, and we said the bow is 80 pounds, longer draw length. And then there's another reason why I kind of like shooting heavier poundage, right? So if you look at my sight tape goes out to 120 yards. I'm shooting a Montana Black Gold. I'm shooting a pro sight. Now, if I got a 540 grain arrow, and say your poundage is 50 pounds, right? And say you got a 27-inch draw length, you might not be able to reach out to 100 yards to practice. So therefore, I kind of like to be able to set my setup to be able to penetrate, and for I can practice out to long distances. I kind of got a general rule of thumb. I try to stay within half of what I practice. So a lot of times I can practice consistently out to 120. So I kind of try to limit my shots to 60 and in. Some scenarios I'll consider going outside of that, but for the most part, that's a general rule of thumb. So that's my sight. Sometimes Black Gold makes this little light here. I bought it because there was a lady that was having problems with pigs on her property, and since it was private property, I was able to go over there and actually stick a pig after sunlight hours. So there's that. I do have a complaint about this bow though. It shoots great and everything, but this is ambush, and this quiver is the, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's a 6 arrow quiver, right? It's ambushed. It's not the biggest deal, but they did not do a good job on their paint match. This does not look ambush. It looks like it's almost looks like the granite, somewhere between the granite and ambush. So if Matthews could fix that, that would be awesome. All right. If you watch previous videos, you see that I'm running the Hamskea Epsilon. I've had zero issues with it at all. This has actually been pretty cool. The only thing that I do not like is my normal Allen key set that most archers use, is that yellow one that a bunch of them fold out on. I can't really get to these screws with that set to make vertical adjustments on the rest. So just keep in mind that. All right. And then stabilizers. I got a Bee Stinger, the Micro Hex 10-inch stabilizer with 2 ounces out front. And then I got a 8-inch here with 4 ounces in the back. And then this here, I mean, I think it's almost criminal to like have one of these bows and not have this, because spot and stalk makes it so perfect. When I'm like crawling around Lanai, I can pick my bow up, set it, stay behind it, crawl a little bit, and everything works perfectly. And then I got the 3/8 G5 Meta Peep. So that's really the setup from top to bottom, with the exception of my release. So keep in mind, I'm not sponsored by anybody. This is a knock to it release, right? You know, I've been shooting a Carter Wise choice for the longest. And I'll be honest with you, I literally bought it because he posted it on Instagram and I thought it looked cool. I figured it was gonna feel exactly the same way as a Carter Wise choice. But he actually did a couple things to it that make the release feel a little bit more crisp. I believe the trigger here is a little bit heavier, so as it, when the bow fires, this is a little bit heavier, which means the release is a little bit more crisp. I like it. So far, I think I've shot like 3 deer using this specific setup. I don't set the front end of my arrow up specifically for penetration. This is for bloodletting. So all my other factors, I want them to be very high oriented or very, very focused on penetration. So the broadhead is big, but I got 13% FOC, 540 grains on the arrow, heavy poundage, heavy drawing. I give you a specific example when this came, basically when this came into fruition. I shot a buck not this past Saturday, but the week before that. I shot an Axis buck. He was quartering away pretty hard. I shot him basically a couple inches in front of the hip. It came out of his throat. I cleaned up the video as much as I could just because I didn't want YouTube to suppress the video too much or give me one of those strikes. But this broadhead, not this specific one, but the iron wheel wide, ran full length and out through his neck. I could not find the broadhead. Tore up everything in between, like tore the top of the heart off. The lungs were mush. The lungs were coming out of the nose and everything. That full length penetration passing through at least 4 feet of animal and coming out of that animal is why I set my bow up in this manner. Tore everything up in there, but still penetrated, right? So that's what you got to think about. Think about like your specific loadout. You don't have to go to the archery shop tomorrow and copy my loadout. I could say loadout because I came up playing Call of Duty, but you don't have to copy my loadout. Do what makes sense for you. Like in Call of Duty, you might be the melee guy who's running around with like knifing everybody. And so you're gonna want somebody who's light, with not a lot of body armor. You might be the guy who's running around and shooting everybody with a shotgun from the hip. Whatever your style of hunting is, make sure your loadout fits that. You don't have to go with what this YouTuber says or what that YouTuber says. Figure out what you do. You are not gonna want a 700 grain arrow if you are spot and stalking on Western style hunts. Ranch Fairy style is not gonna work for you. That's gonna work for somebody who is specifically only hunting over basically hunting over feeders, or like, you know that your shot's going to be controlled at a specific range, you're going to have time to range them. I'm hunting axis deer, and those axis deer get hunted every single day. It is a public hunting, a company owns it, but they charge $100 for the year. Most people can afford $100 for the year to be able to hunt there. There is no season. So these deer have PhDs in avoiding people. So any movement, they know when it's a transition area, they know what's right, what's not right. So I don't have a whole lot of time. So I have to be able to maximize my shot opportunities. I practice my form here, but I don't even get to, if you're gonna wait for an axis deer when you can shoot it with perfect form, you're never gonna shoot at axis deer. Not here, not on Lanai. So my loadout has to be able to take those shots, and if something goes wrong a little bit, I still need to be able to put those animals down quickly and humanely. So that's my loadout. We may drop some of that video from that hunt, at least the recovery of it, and you'll see where it entered and where it exited. Like, my setup is specifically set up. That's my kind of worst case scenario. So figure out what your worst case scenario is, and set your bow, set your arrow up for that, for your specific loadout. So that is the bow setup. Comment in the comment section if you got any specific questions. Let me know what you think about what I do to maximize penetration because of the front end of my arrow. If you agree, disagree, whatever it is, make sure you leave it below. Make sure you subscribe, make sure you share it, make sure you tell your friends about it. If you don't know how to spell it, it's Privileged. I know y'all know how to spell bow hunter. We love y'all. Peace.